it came time to be recruited for college, LaDainian wasn't heavily recruited. A lot of the schools that he dreamt about going to didn't give him a first look, let alone a second look. And that could be discouraging.
He wanted to actually go to Kansas State. The visit didn't go as well as he had thought it should have gone, or he wanted it to go. They didn't act as if they were going to start him. So I think after that, he made a decision to go to college elsewhere, to somewhere where he could start.
If you follow recruiting in Texas, there's guys that are can't-miss prospects, and then there's the guys that, oh, look who I found. And, you know, there's the blue chips and the guys that you just have to develop. LT was probably somewhere in the middle of that.
It's kind of disappointed, you know, that only got a few scholarship offers. But I kind of understood because, you know, people thought this guy came from nowhere. You know, he was just a one-year wonder, you know, so they wasn't sure if I was the real deal or just a guy that got lucky for 1 year.
He had to make some decisions as to where he wanted to go to school. Both TCU and North Texas were on him right up until the end, right up until the signing date, and he ended up going to TCU.
I was grateful, though, that someone gave me an opportunity to prove people wrong. And once that happened, then I just took it and ran with it.
He was coming out of high school, and he had broken the record there, and so you naturally think, you know, once he get to college, it's going to get better and better, but it didn't happen like that. They won one game. One game.
LT's freshman year was the low point. His first year there, my junior year, was the low point when we won one game.
That was an interesting time because Pat Sullivan was the football coach, and we had a couple of good years, and then we had just come off of a losing season, and to sign a guy that rushed for 2,500 yards, you're like, oh, well, okay, maybe things are turning around for us.
We're standing on the sidelines and just watching the new guys that are in there, and we looked over and thought, good grief, who is that, you know? Yeah. And, man, that guy can move. Man, that guy can run. Where did we find this guy? We're horrible. How did we get him?
Well, you knew he was special, but you didn't know how special he was. He handled himself so well.
Yeah, he felt like that he had to make the team better. We got to get better. We've got to win games.
He came into TCU as a typical freshman, average student, always in class, never missed class, responsible, and I don't remember him running fast for the first couple years that he was here.
The first time we ever ran a 40, LT ran a 4.62. And between that time and the time he ran in the spring of his going into his junior year, he ran a 4.37.
I just had to wait my turn. I learned from the guys that was older than I was, and I tried to, when I got my chance, I tried to make an impact, and so that coaches knew that when my time came that they can depend on me.
First year, believe it or not, he actually spent time with another running back, but then after that, it was the LaDainian Tomlinson show. We built the offense around LaDainian Tomlinson. I mean, we've given him the ball 35, 40 times a game. You know, pretty good things were going to happen when he had the ball in his hand.
He kept getting more and more yardage when he ran, and people would say, who is this guy? He just kept getting better and better. And then he had a couple breakout games. And then, of course, by the time he did the UTEP game and broke the NCAA record, people were just beside themselves.
The turning point was probably the day that he went for 406. I mean, you know, those type of things don't happen very often. And, you know, I think that really put him on the scene, on the national scene, and also I think it put TCU on the national scene.
I already knew this guy's really good, but that day was the day that myself, along with probably everybody else in the United States, thought, oh my goodness, this guy is big time.